Hi everyone and welcome back to the Bodcast. This is episode 69 and we are back for a discussion on how our first experience of displaying at a Lego convention went.
Sounds fun.
That was the longest title ever, wasn't it?
That was.
Ian's here, by the way.
Hello.
So, let's go through some particulars of the show.
Some particulars.
Yeah. So, we went to the Great Western
Brick Show.
Great Western Brick Show. Yeah. Great Western Brick Show at Steam in Swindon.
Yep.
It was a 2-day event, 7 hours each day. That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
And they had about 5,000 people through the door.
It's not too bad, is it?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So we didn't pick the smallest of events to start with. Where should we start?
I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Did you have fun?
I did, yes.
Was it immensely rewarding?
It was.
Why?
It was just really nice seeing people excited by the mock. The number of kids who would just stand in front of it and say, wow.
No, they wouldn't say wow. They'd go, wow! Like, their face would light up and they, like, sometimes there was no noise.
Yes.
But it was just the face that said it. And there was adults that did that, to be fair. It was genuinely the nicest thing, I think, just to have your ego stroked solidly for 14 hours.
Yep.
Maybe not quite. Because, so, the logistics of where we were meant that we got the initial crowd and then by about 3 o'clock.
Let's explain how it works. So,
okay.
Basically, this isn't one of the shows where they've just got a big hall booked out. It's actually part of the museum.
Yeah.
So there is a hall, and so you've got the main hall, which has a lot of the Lego in. We weren't in that. But you've also got the museum, and so there's a lot of Lego kind of following the entrance through, coming through into the museum.
Yeah.
Basically, as people come in, they walk past all of the Lego till they reach us at the end. And then a lot of them asked if there was any more Lego. So... Because it wasn't entirely obvious. But yeah, you then walked basically back through the museum. They've got lots of trains you walk past. And then you get to the hall where the rest of the Lego is.
Yeah. And it's considerably more Lego. So it made us laugh every time someone said, is there more Lego? Yeah. As if they'd already seen it all. I'm thinking, there's like double what you've already seen. And possibly then some. But after that
but I mean, if you've not been to that show before, you'd have no idea how much Lego there's going to be.
Same, we've never been.
Because you're paying just the standard museum entry price, aren't you?
Yes, you are.
So, you're not paying extra because there's Lego, so how much would you really expect there to be?
Yeah, wow. I thought it was quite a large show. I'm trying to work out on scale with Bricktastic how big it was. Bricktastic, was it just the one hall? It wasn't just the one hall. There was also
what are we talking about?
Bricktastic.
Which is which one?
Manchester.
Okay. Is Reading not also Bricktastic?
No, that's the Reading Brick Show.
Okay. I don't know. Gets confusing. So, yeah, you had the main hall in Manchester, I would say, is bigger than the hall was.
And there was more as well.
And then there was the second one which had the ball pits in it, and that's where the big Jeep was, and some other stuff, and the car racing.
I didn't even go and look at the Jeep the second time, because we'd already seen it at Sheffield.
Yeah.
Was it a Bricktastic where they destroyed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah. So, and then they also had the big wall where you could add decorations and maybe another
that was more in
pit.
the hallway, wasn't it?
Yeah, so overall it was much, much bigger.
Yes. But this one I would say is larger than everyone else that we've already been to.
Yeah.
So it's like the second largest we've been to so far.
Yeah, so on top of, after you went through the main hall, you then went out into the marquee, which is where or through the marquee, I think you ended up in a different building, and that's where you had the vendors as well. So it was nice having the vendors essentially separate.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people in the main hall selling stuff.
Yeah, but the pop-up shop and then the sort of, it was the custom stuff that seemed to be in the hall, and then the actual Lego was right at the end kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you had some people, not many people, sort of sprint around to get to the vendors, but most of them just went with the flow. And that was the difference, I think, from being behind the mock for me, is that you got a better sense of who the people coming were. So when we go to a show, we just hang out with our fellow AFOLs. You don't really notice the demographic.
Yeah.
Whereas the majority of people were families coming to see the Lego.
Yeah.
There was pretty much a kid with every single group. There was a couple that weren't.
No, there were quite a lot. There were quite a lot of teenagers who by themselves or in pairs or threes kind of thing.
Shouldn't let teenagers out by themselves.
No,
I think it was more than 50% families.
Yes, yeah. And we think that's because of the type of show it is. As you say, it's in the museum, so it kind of caters to people who have slightly less of an interest in Lego than something like Bricktastic in Manchester, where
everyone's going because they love
you're
Lego.
only going because of the Lego.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
This is, you might normally go to the museum as a family. You'll go that weekend because you've got the added bonus of the Lego.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you get a much higher percentage of families.
Mm-hmm. So we didn't set up the night before. We set up first thing Saturday morning. So we rushed up there just on the off chance that everything would break on the way and we'd need the time to fix it.
Yeah.
We got there before any of the actual show people arrived.
Yes.
Because we made good headway on the traffic.
Yeah.
And so we set up at the same time as a guy who runs Lego events next to us. And his immediate reaction to our mock was, I'm going to have to teach you how to make mocks that you can move about. Which, I know he meant well, kind of mean. Because it was in one piece, so I don't know what his problem was. I mean, since then, we have dropped it again.
Yeah.
But, you know...
The problem is it needs two people to move it. And I'm only one person.
Yeah, and once I've moved half of it, I can't do the other half.
Yeah.
So it's tiring. But yeah, it is unwieldy. We did well getting it in and out of the show. I was helpful there. Yeah. It's just going up the stairs because we're not the same height and you expected me to hold something and lean over. Oh, it's just too much. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think we did well setting up. I think we learned a few lessons about really understanding the best viewing angle for your mock and changing things about just so that people can see it properly. And the thing we felt quite bad about was monopolising the sort of flow because we were the very last table.
Well, yeah, so originally the tables kind of went round a corner and so we were the very last one on the end. But that didn't work particularly well with the way the mock was done. It meant that you had kind of decided that we didn't really want to be on show was what people saw when approaching it.
Yeah.
So what we did, with permission from the people organising it, is turn the table round.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of caused a little bit of a bottleneck, maybe. I mean, it felt really nice from our point of view because it almost seemed like everyone was queuing up to see our mock.
Yeah.
And then they were just kind of looking at the other mocks as they went past.
Which is not what was happening.
No.
But that's just because that's what we could see.
Yes.
So it was another ego boost, which is good. We spent the entire weekend stood behind our mock, actively talking to everyone. And I think that one made it more tiring, but two made it more rewarding.
Yeah.
Because we could engage with people and point things out that they might not have seen otherwise. And get their feedback as well. We came back with a long list of things that the children said they'd like to see, or people were like, "Oh, this is a funny idea. You should include that kind of thing." So that was actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But it was tiring, and you did say the same things over and over and over again. But I mean, I didn't really mind that too much.
No, everyone asks how long does it take to build?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we didn't build it for the show. We didn't sit down and build it in one go. It was built over 2 years.
You said you had one girl who refused to accept.
Yes, she wanted to know exactly how many minutes it took to build.
Yeah, so I guess if you're going to display at a show, you should have one of those chess clocks.
So, yeah.
You just sort of add the time up constantly. But, I mean, the knowledge of some of the children on what lives under the sea and, the different types of rays and things was quite nice. And I think the fact that we had something that wasn't based on a movie that you had to have seen, everyone has seen Octonauts as a child or just some general programme about under the sea. Most books will touch on it. You'll get an under the sea book. So it was easy for them to connect with.
We did have some kids say, what movie is this?
Yeah, I think only one or two, not many.
Well, because if you think, as you walked into our section, there was the Encanto House, then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Alice in Wonderland.
I can't think what the next one was.
I thought the Alice in Wonderland was on the end.
And then what the middle one was. It was definitely something else.
Oh, was there a Aladdin one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you then had the Escher one, so that's not based on a film. But then just before us, you had
Steampunk
Batman. So a lot of it was very film heavy as you came round.
Yeah, but that's because that's the kind of stuff that we take inspiration from. But ours is it's part of a city, so it's meant to look like a part of the city kind of thing. So, but also we had a set in there, the Creator 3-in-1 Shark.
Yeah.
that pretty much 90% of the children owned.
Yes.
And therefore they immediately went, I've got that shark. And again, that allowed them to connect with us a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And a lot of people knew that it was a Silent Mary ship as well.
We only made one child cry. So,
Sorry, which child did we make cry?
the one who wanted to buy it.
Oh, yeah, they did want to buy our mock. Well, there was
tried to explain that they couldn't buy it.
Yeah, we've not come. It's not a shop.
I want to buy it.
I want to buy it. How much is it? How can I buy it? Yeah, that was quite cute. There was the other one who tried to steal one of my brownies.
Yes.
And her dad had to wrestle her off it.
Yeah.
And that happened all so quickly. We didn't even notice that. Suddenly she's got it, and she's. I was amazed by the grip that she had. I think she may have cried after that, but I don't think that was our fault. So yeah, 3 people tried to steal something from our mock. 2 of them were children and 1 was tech.
Yeah.
So, 3 of them were children is probably what I meant to say there. But it was fun. I think next time, I mean obviously not next time, because if we go to another show in the next year, it's probably the same mock we're going to take. We're going to slowly add new things to it.
I'm trying to think, if we go to Swindon again next year, it might still be that we take the coral reef with us.
No, we want to do something else.
I don't know, there's so much stuff that we can add to it.
Yeah, but do you think they will remember what they saw last year versus this year? We know. So I think you can add some stuff to it as you go around the circuit and people go, oh, I saw this at this show, and you've added lots of stuff. I think I'd be okay with that. I don't know. But anyway, what I was saying, I've completely forgotten now. What was I saying?
That next time...
Yeah, that's so helpful. What was the thing before that? It was a build-up. Interrupting me. It's just rude.
I know.
Oh, next time I'd like a mock that isn't as tall, because being able to see the people is quite key. And if you stood up, fine. But if you want to sit down to give your feet a rest, having it slightly shorter would be useful. Or maybe that you can sit to the side a bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the show was knackering. It was really tiring, but it was fun. Because it was a 2-day show, we stayed overnight in a hotel, and that allowed us to go to the after-show dinner. Now, this was the first time we've met people officially from the Lug. We've been to shows where people from the Lug have been, and we've probably chatted to them as spectators. But this was the first time, we're part of you kind of thing. And so I think it was less overwhelming than going to a Lug meet, because we'd already set up and shown that we had something.
Yeah.
So people
felt that you have to prove yourself as a Lego builder.
People had come to connect with us already, so we went to the dinner knowing, we already know you people. So
although I do kind of feel as though, because we hadn't set up on the Friday night, a lot of the people didn't see our mock until actually quite late on the Sunday.
Yeah, that's true, because
they'd gone around and seen everything on the Friday night.
Well, there was a lot not set up on the Friday night, though, because we were trying to take some content Saturday morning, but there were empty tables still, and we didn't want to give that impression, so we were avoiding showing those. So that also means that on Friday, when my review comes out, there may be mocks that I've missed. It might not all be in there, because keeping track of what I'd recorded the first day versus the second day. And
it was trying not to record anything the first day if we weren't sure it was fully set up.
Yeah, exactly. So there was one that was quite clearly not set up, because it had 2 stands, which was old version, new version, and there was only one thing on there, so we knew that one wasn't finished. But the social side of it was really quite funny. Yeah. So after the doors closed on the Saturday, there was the robot battles exclusively for us to watch. So during the day, they'd had the robot battles, the little Technic robots that just try and push each other into a pit or completely destroy each other. Was going on, and that I really enjoy listening to the noise of that, because the crowd do go pretty noisy for that. Yay, come on! And in fact, we did the exact same thing watching that, so that was fun. And then you have your dinner, and then they had an auction, and we had no clue what this auction was going to be like.
No, so the auction was crazy.
We went and looked at the stuff that was available for auction, thinking, I don't know how much this is. And it was all for charity, so it was hard to gauge whether people would be bidding more because of that anyway. And we didn't really have any funds to spend, but there was a mystery box, and there was things that you didn't realise that you had to then open to see what was actually fully inside. There was some minifigures that apparently worth quite a lot, and as the guy's doing the bidding, he's going, no, this is worth more, you should see. And he gets out a knife from his pocket and opens this mint in box figure, and I was just like, what on earth is going on here? At one point he sold a mock back to someone. Like they like
just went and got a mock off
this
the
next
display.
lot is this one, and it's one of the models, and it's like he's just paid £100 for his own work. Like he already owns this. It was crazy, and it was fun to watch. I didn't feel like I could join in with that bit, but it was entertaining enough just to watch. And so, yeah, the food was nice, the experience was good. By the time we got back to the hotel, we were ready for bed. Yes. I mean, it was a long day. Yeah.
So, I mean, we got up at 5 a.m, so we could set off at 6 a.m, which confused Carrie because it was still dark.
Yeah, it was definitely very dark.
So, yeah, it was a long day. I think we got... So, yeah, and then 9 o'clock at the hotel. So
we were up earlier than 9 o'clock.
No, 9 o'clock was when we got back to the hotel.
Yeah, okay. So the next day we had a nice breakfast. Off we went again. The second day definitely seemed slightly quieter, and I think that's just the fact that people don't tend to do as much on a Sunday, so you don't get the crowds coming as much as you would on a Saturday because there aren't people out. That's what I'm guessing anyway. And it definitely felt by the time we got to about 1ish, you were like, is it nearly over? And not because you wanted to wish it away, but just because my feet were killing me.
Yeah.
But you want to give the same experience to everyone who comes, so we were still being very engaged and things, but I think we had more chats with some of the other British members on the Sunday, just sat around. And I don't know if that was also because we had friends come on the first day, so instead...
I think it was generally, it was quiet, so from kind of 3 o'clock...
Yeah, it was definitely quiet.
So one of the weird things is that the museum is normally only open till 4 on a Sunday, but because of the brick show, it stays open till 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people actually don't realise that it's open that extra hour, but from 3 o'clock, it definitely tailed off a lot. And I think the main hall still had people milling around. As you said, ours was more of you queued past it and then went into the hall where you'd then, mill around and bounce between different things.
Yeah.
So ours got very quiet. The hall then, I think, was a lot quieter as well. And so some of the exhibitors took that as an opportunity to come around and see some other stuff and just to get away from the crowd.
So that was the thing. When we asked if we could move our table, the lady said that she'd been given all the new exhibitors and she'd made sure to put those in the main hall because being off to the side on your first one apparently isn't the right thing. But actually I think it was much better for us because it wasn't so overwhelming. And it meant that we had that downtime in the afternoon to...
Yeah, I think it could... We were fortunate, so the guy next to us was there most of the time as well. And so that... I didn't feel that we were having to look after everyone's mocks.
Yeah,
but
that's
if he'd
true.
Gone off, it would have... Because the other ones did spend a lot of the time away from their mocks, particularly on the Saturday, actually.
Yeah.
So I think at that point, it would have felt you're responsible for a lot, and that would have been overwhelming, I think.
Well, yes, because you don't want to tell people the wrong thing about someone else's mock.
Well, we've heard stories of people having minifigs stolen and stuff, so you'd feel how closely do you have to watch these other mocks?
Yeah, no, but there were people on each sort of length. Every day.
No, not on the Saturday.
Sally was there on the Saturday. She wasn't there on the Sunday because I think she was in the kitchen somewhere.
I think on the Saturday it was more often that it was just kind of us and Mike and his son.
Right. So, as well as the feedback from people and the engaging with people and just the general good feeling that gave, what were the perks for displaying?
Yeah, so it was interesting because, a lot of people we hear about Chicago.
Yeah,
and it's trying to work out, should we go to Chicago? And you're looking at that, and to go for the whole event, so that includes the private days, the public days, everything, it's $85 per person. And that then gives you the opportunity to display.
Yeah.
So you buy that, and that allows you to register. So you're paying $85, and then essentially you can exhibit for free.
And there was a goodie bag, I think, didn't they? Everyone got like a set. You got to choose from 5 different sets. And you got
when you paid the $85, you could choose the goodie bag.
Yeah. So it's not like you pay $85 and you only get that opportunity.
No, I think the goodie bag was extra.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've got a feeling it is. I've got a feeling it's something like an extra $25.
Right.
And they guarantee the value of it is at least $25 or
right,
something.
Okay.
But so, because we were exhibiting, we didn't have to pay the entry fee, so we got free entry to the whole museum.
Yeah.
So
we didn't necessarily make the best use of that, but
we saw bits.
Yeah, I did go around. I drove the train.
Yeah. So yeah, you had all of that. There was free food and drink throughout the whole weekend. So they did have a donations for that, and so we chucked in a tenner because I think the donation was a recommended £2 to £3 per person per day.
Yeah.
So we went, well, we've got a tenner, that works.
Yeah.
But you know, that could have been free if you didn't donate.
Yeah, but that seems wrong.
Yeah, we got because you're a lug member, you got a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Because we were exhibiting, we both got goodie bags, which included a Lego set, a little packet of sweets,
and an event brick.
And the event brick.
We got the 15% discount at the Lego store.
There was a Lego pop-up store, and so that gave 15% discounts as long as you were buying it before the show opened. So.
And in fact, some of the resellers also were offering discounts. So the minifig guy, he was like knocking a couple of quid off a minifig if you were part of it. So that was nice.
Yeah. We got the free meal in the evening.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
And we made lots of lovely new friends.
So, yeah, from a monetary point of view, it was really good. I mean, so yeah, how it worked is there was the Lego pop-up shop. So it's actual Lego staff come in with all the stock they set up. Their card reader did not work on the Saturday. That was causing chaos.
Yeah, they probably lost out on a lot of sales as well if the public couldn't actually buy at that point.
Yeah. But it was working Sunday, and so we got there. We'd planned to get there early on the Sunday to do filming and stuff. We didn't manage it because, you know, we ate too much breakfast.
Oh, I ate so much breakfast.
Yeah. So we got there, and it's like, oh, the store accepting cards. So I went off. Pretty much everyone was in a queue. The card reader was working, but still very slowly. But so, yeah, 15% off all of the Lego that they had there. So we picked up the Tree of Souls avatar set. Which we just built on our live stream. So getting that on, what, is that day one?
Yeah, pretty much. It came out on the 1st, so by the time we got it, it was day 2.
So yeah, day 2, buying it at a 15% discount is pretty good.
Yeah.
Plus we got points.
VIP points, yeah. Yeah, so lots of perks. I think one of the biggest ones, though, apart from like the making new friends, was the inspiration that you get from looking at everyone else's. So the number of pieces I saw that I was like, we could use that in our mock that I didn't know even existed.
Yes.
So we were constantly like on Bricklink going, what set is this from? How can I buy this? And just seeing what other people can do with things was actually really good as well. Like,
I think because you're there the whole time, when it's quiet, that's when you're going around and you're talking to the other people, and at that point, you're getting to quite in-depth discussions. We had Kaz taking bits apart to show us what she'd done. You know, at one point, there was a really good mock, which I'm sure Carrie will highlight in the review.
Yes.
But us and another exhibitor basically were just talking and walking around, and we saw it. And so Jackie wasn't there. So the three of us were just there pointing at pieces and trying to work out how stuff had worked. And it's a really interesting way of looking at the mock.
Yeah. So like instead of finding out actually you're trying to like reverse engineer or like use your knowledge to work it out. It was quite fun to watch how excited you were both getting about how does this work? How have I done this? And I think when you go as a Joe public person, you can be rushed. You sometimes don't make those connections, especially on the bits where you're queuing through and you feel like you need to move on. Yeah. I think there is definitely the opportunity to have those conversations if you make them happen more. Yeah. But
I mean, we had quite in-depth conversations with members of the public.
Yeah. So
we only very briefly met the general manager Lego UK.
Yeah. They're like, I work from Lego. What do you do? Oh, I'm actually the general manager. Oh, okay, fine. I'm like, I bet you get a good staff discount for that. That was like, literally, can I have your discount code, please? But yeah, I think we came away instantly looking for another one to do, didn't we? Yeah. We're like, when can we go again? What can we do next?
And that's the one thing about Lego shows that I don't really understand. So, like, we were looking at, you've got Bristol is mid-November.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is that too late to apply to display? It's run by Gertlug, do you have to be in Gertlug to display?
Yeah, so I think...
I know that, so if you go to Gertlug, they list a load of things that they've been to and displayed as a lug, which they've not run.
Right.
So it's not like Gertlug does that and that's all they do.
Yeah.
And similarly, a lot of the people we see at Brickish are at a lot of other shows, but we don't know if that's just because they're in a lot of lugs.
Yeah. I think it's hard to know. You just got to keep going to them and finding the contacts, I think, maybe. Maybe we should try and ask the people in our lug what other lugs, or what other shows can we easily do.
Yeah.
Because that they probably have that knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's specific rules around it.
What, you could only display if you're part of the...
Yeah, whether Lego try and encourage that kind of thing.
Well, that was one of the conversations we had this weekend is, are people in too many lugs? Is it confusing the data? Maybe we'll come back to that another time as a complete topic, but I don't know how you can be in too many lugs, because if you want to really contribute to a lug, you can't spread yourself that thin.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot to do, and the fact that our lug is a UK-wide one, there's meetups in all different kind of places, it could be easy to never go to any of them because they don't really fit with where you are. But
or you could just be in the lug because you want to display.
Yeah.
And you don't take part in any other aspect of the lug.
Yeah. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it's just made me want to find more pieces to put under the sea and to start really thinking about how to do another mock. But, I mean, considering my mocks were just 3 little habitats that I threw together, although they didn't get a bad reception.
Oh, no, the kids, so many kids.
Kids love Minions, so that is why I was planning a Minions mock. Like, I was planning a bigger one because I knew it would go down well.
Yeah.
It's like it's one that would definitely get the kids to the table, and I kind of already guessed that having the kids there would help the weekend go quickly and make it feel more fun. So,
and it definitely did go quickly.
Yeah, that first day I'm like, oh my god, it's nearly 1 o'clock and I haven't eaten. Yeah. No wonder my stomach is rumbling. Because you're just chatting. It was just an adrenaline rush, start to finish. It's not really the adrenaline rush that most people probably would want, but
I don't know.
Drugs or Lego show? Drugs or Lego show? I don't know. It was good. Okay. It was good. It was really good.
It was.
I was just smiling the whole time. I'm like, this is great. So much fun. I think what could make it better? Like displaying with friends? Do you think that would make it better? Or do you think that would make it harder to want to be behind your mock because you want to hang out with your friends?
I don't know. I think we coped fairly well when, we had quite a large group of people there who we were chatting to.
Yeah. But if they all had their own mock, would that cut down the time that you could chat?
I don't know.
Because everyone would want to be at their own mock for a bit.
But it depends how close you are. If you're managing to get all your mocks together, so like Tech and people have done the Star Wars collaboration where they're showing off all of their mocks as a group, and so you wouldn't have that. I think even if you're not doing that and you're just 2 completely separate people doing 2 completely different displays, I think you could still ask them, particularly if it's your first time, look, we'd like to be together, kind of thing. And I think they'd try and make that happen. Do
you think it would be more overwhelming doing that show if we weren't a couple, so that like we didn't already have that buddy system? Like if you went, I think
it would be exhausting.
Yeah, I think it would.
I mean, so they do have volunteers, and the volunteers, you can ask a volunteer to watch your stuff, or you go off and have food or a break. But I'd feel a bit weird doing that for any length of time. If you're there on your own, you can go, oh, I need to do that now. But you'd feel like you had to get back. Yeah. But I guess
as you build up your rapport with the lug, though, you wouldn't worry so much about that.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, oh, they've got my back. I know them. And that's the thing. It was the first time meeting the lug, and they were very friendly. They were like, tea? Do you want to go for tea? Like, they kept checking on us. So that was nice. Yeah, overall, positive, more positive.
Yes.
I can't think. Can you think of any negatives?
Getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, getting up at 5 a.m. and being super tired afterwards, and like the come down. I'm still trying to recover from the sleep.
Yeah.
Like getting up so early and the physical exhaustion, but I'm still riding the high wave of how fun it was. So yeah, I think the positives definitely outweigh those.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got to get on with planning our next one.
Okay.
If you want to see the mocks that we've been talking about today and the show that we cut our teeth on displaying, then I will be doing a roundup of that tomorrow, so come back for that. If you've got any comments that you want to add, any advice and tips from your experience of displaying,
or any questions
that we might be able to answer, now we're clearly experts
on it,
do leave those in the comments below or catch us on Instagram. And if you want to listen to any of our previous podcasts, then you can do that via the link in the show notes or the description, or I'll put a handy button at the end because I'm nice like that.
Oh, aren't you nice?
So have a great week, everybody, and we'll be back next week for another thrilling episode of the Bodcast.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye before me. It's just rude. Bye. I said it twice.